Everyone, the next topic is create a new virtual machine on localhost. So create a new virtual machine on a local host using VMware Workstation involves several steps. So we're going to see one by one. So for that the prerequisites are needed. So first one is the VMware Workstation install. So we have to ensure that VMware Workstation is installed on our local machine. If we don't have it yet, download it from the VMware website and follow the installation instructions. Installation media. So obtain the installation media for the operating system we want to install on the VM. So there we are having ISO file and also physical media. So ISO file, a disk image of the OS, example Windows, Linux. Physical media, a CD or DVD containing the OS installer. System resources. Ensure your host machine has sufficient CPU, RAM and disk space to support additional VMs. So for the step-by-step guide to create a new virtual machine. So first one is the launching VMware Workstation. So open VMware Workstation, double click the VMware Workstation icon on our desktop or find it in our applications list. So next one is the create a new virtual machine. So for that we have to start the VM creation process. Click on create a new virtual machine from the home screen. Choose configuration type, typical or custom. So select the installation media. So choose the installation method like installer disk image file, also called ISO. Else I will install the operating system's layer. So installer from disk, if we have a physical CD or DVD, select this option and insert the disk. Installer disk image file, if we are using an ISO file, browse to the file location on our computer. As I will install the operating system's layer. If we prefer to create the VM without immediately installing the OS, we can choose this option and install later. Next is the configure the virtual machine. So first we have to name our virtual machine. So provide a name for our virtual machine, example Windows 10 tester or some names. Choose a location where the VM files will be stored on our hard drive. Select the guest operating system. So choose the type of operating system we are going to install, example Windows or Linux. Specify the version of the OS from the drop down menu. Allocate resources to the VM. So processor configurations. Specify the number of processors and cores. For better performance, consider allocating more cores if our host machine supports it. Next one is the memory allocation. Set the amount of RAM to allocate to the VM. A general guideline is Windows 10 at least 4 GB recommended. Linux varies by distribution but typically 2 GB or more. Network connection. So choose the type of network connection. NAT, bridged, host only. So NAT is nothing but network address translation. It allows the VM to access external networks through the host. Bridged is nothing but it connects the VM to the same network as the host, making it accessible like a physical device. Host only. It creates the network that allows communication between the host and the VM but not external access. Next one is the disk space configuration. So we have to specify the maximum disk space for the VM. So a general recommendation is for Windows at least 40 GB should be allocated, and for Linux OS depends on the distribution, 20 GB is often sufficient for testing. So choose whether to store the virtual disk as a single file or split into multiple files. The latter is better for portability. So step 6 is the customize the hardware. So access hardware settings. Click on customize hardware if you want to adjust specific settings such as processors. So modify the number of CPU cores. In memory, fine tune RAM settings. In network adapter, change the network settings if needed. In USB controllers, enable USB support for connecting devices. For display settings, adjust graphics settings for better performance. So finalize the VM creation. So review of settings, ensure all configurations are correct in the summary window. And next is the complete the creation process. Click finish to create the VM. We should now see the new VM listed in the VMware Workstation library. So next is the install the operating system. Power on the VM. Have to select the newly created VM from the library and click power on this virtual machine. Follow the installation process. The VM will boot from the selected installation media. Follow the on-screen prompts to install the operating system, just like we would on a physical machine. So next step is the install VMware tools. So after the OS installation is complete, install VMware tools. So this packaging enhances performance and provides additional features like improved graphics and better mouse integration. In the VM menu, select install VMware tools. Follow the prompts in the guest OS to complete the installation. So additional configurations maybe network settings, shared folders and snapshots may be included for better operation. So creating a new virtual machine on a local host using VMware Workstation is a manageable process that provides significant flexibility for development, testing and learning. Thank you.